Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Carvel community meeting. The date is May 23rd, 2023. If you are watching this recording from home, we encourage you to come join us live. We meet every second and fourth Wednesday of the month at 8 a.m. Pacific time. It's a good opportunity for you to come and meet other members of the community, the maintainers, listen in on what the team's working on, bring up anything you wish to discuss with them. So whether that be you're having trouble with, getting any of the tools, getting started with any of the tools, or if you have any feature requests or want to provide feedback on what the team is working on in general, we would love to have you. You're also welcome just to come and sit and listen. There's no requirement to interact in this meeting if you're uncomfortable in that way as well. So lots of opportunities for you to just come hang out with us in the meeting. So we encourage you to come join us. And for those that are on the meeting right now, if you have anything you wish to discuss, make sure to put that in the discussion topic section at the bottom here, and we'll get to it towards the end of the meeting. If you aren't able to come join us for the meeting and you still want to get a hold of us, there's other ways to reach out. You can find us in the Carvel channel in the Kubernetes Slack workspace. You can email us. You can find us within any of our GitHub repos. And you can also find us in Twitter at Carvel_dev. At any point you are interacting with us or any members of the community, we just ask that you please read and abide by our code of conduct, which is linked out here, and it's within all of our project repos. We would love to know more about how folks are using any of the Carvel tools. So we created this pinned issue to make it a bit easier to provide information. And all you need to do is add a comment to this issue with filling out the items that we're asking of you. So your organization or company, link to your website, your country, contact information. What is your scenario for using any of the Carvel tools? Are you running application testing or production? And then optionally add a PNG version of your company's logo, and we would get that added to the adopters file here. It's just a good way for us to really understand how folks are using the tools and, really see how, what others are finding useful for these tools. And it's also good for the community to see ways in which they can also use the tools. So we really encourage you to go fill that out. If you feel uncomfortable sharing your organization's information and you just want to share your scenario, that's fine as well. We have a few of those folks here that have just listed how they're using the Carvel tools. So Christian here, just let us know how they're using it. And so we still would like that information. Just a reminder, anyone who's on this call, please add your name and any organization you're representing in the attendees list. Not required, we would love to keep track of who's attending the meetings. Moving on to announcements. So I mentioned this in our last meeting, and we are hiring. We have 2 positions available based out of Bangalore, India. So we have, both of them are identical roles. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Renu. And it's just member of technical staff for the Tanzu packaging installation team, specifically Carvel. Renu, do you have anything to add to that?
Oh, I know you're right. There are 2 positions, similar positions we are looking for to fill in Bangalore area. And
you would be reporting to Renu, who is quite amazing person. So there's an added bonus there. So I encourage you to check these job roles out. And if you have any questions, feel free to join us in our next meeting or reach out to us in any of the channels that were mentioned before here. Moving on to a very sad announcement. It's just really so unfortunate. I have to say this, but John Ryan at JTigger, who was a maintainer of Carvel with focus on YTT, has moved on to a new opportunity. I know it was an extremely difficult decision for him. He wasn't looking. It was just something that had just kind of been presented to him, and he's gonna try to sort of still help out as much as he can, but not really in a maintainer level role. So if he's able to squeeze in some time to join community meetings and contribute in any way, he's still very much interested in that. But as far as the role that he has held for quite some time, he has stepped down from that. So he hopefully he might join later today in the meeting, but right now he is not present. So if you find him on Slack in the Kubernetes Slack workspace, just give him a big virtual hug and let him know how much we'll miss him. Renu, are we backfilling for his role? I know there's talk of it.
Not decided yet. We'll update as soon as we have that information.
Okay, great. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. So we may have another open opportunity to join VMware and the Carvel team. Moving on to content/events that Carvel has been part of. So Carvel had some talks at CDCon, GitOpsCon. You can check them out here. Videos were posted just yesterday, so feel free to check out those recordings. And then, this one right here is actually from a different event. There's no recording here. This is from Thomas, who's a longtime contributor. He had an event that he was part of organizing, and then Whitney and Victor were speakers at that event for the Choose Your Own Adventure, which they've been doing ongoing, and they included Carvel in the talk at this event. As far as upcoming stuff, stay tuned for some things that we have in the works here. But as of right now, nothing to post. But if you have something you want to share about Carvel and your own use case with Carvel, if you're speaking at an event, if you're doing a webinar or workshop, or if you want to write a blog post or anything like that, please add your name and details about that here in the weekly content sharing doc, and we will send you a t-shirt or some other Carvel swag of your choice. We have beanies and hoodies and things like that. So just as a thank you for contributing in that way to spreading the knowledge of Carvel. Next for releases, we had CAP 0.56. Who can speak on this?
I can do that. So this was a release that contained a fix for an issue that we talked in the last meeting related to Cilium. So Cilium creates Cilium identity resources, which are supposed to be garbage collector, like way later than they are like. So what happens is when the pod is created, the Cilium identity resources are created, but they're garbage collected at a later stage. So if someone deploys pod resources or workloads through CAP and they delete that app, then CAP would wait for the Cilium identity resources to get deleted. So this was a problem that a lot of users were facing. And so we just made a release to support this out of the box in CAP. Yeah, that was a major highlight of this release. And there was a new contribution as well. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing their name right. Yeah, Harnan Garcia. Thank you for making your first contribution in this release.
Thank you, Praveen. And thank you, Hernan. We appreciate your help with this release. And if you have any questions on this release, let us know. All right. I wanted to do a kind of a different little layout for status updates, bringing back some stuff we talked about last week. So I just wanted to see if there was an update on the GCP cherry pick bot. Varsha, did you have any update there?
Yes, I have. So we are able to successfully configure GCP cherry pick bot on all our repos. The PRs were up last week and they're all merged to develop branches. So next time when we will have any bumps on the develop branch, say library bumps or Golang or any other, which needs to be propagated to LTS branches, we can just have a comment added there that would create a pull request on respective branches. So the work is almost done. There is, I think, one YTT PR still needs to be approved. That's it.
Let me know if you do not get the approval for that till the end of the day today. I will approve it tomorrow morning.
Okay, thanks, Joel.
Well, hello, Mr. Joao.
Hey, hey, hey.
Thank you, Varsha. Any questions on the cherry pick bot stuff from the team or Scott on how all of that works?
Not really a question. It's more we'll have to start thinking in the future whenever we are reviewing PRs, us that review PRs, that if any of these PRs that we are reviewing make sense to be moved to other releases that exist of our tools, we should start adding the cherry pick bot to it, the comment that is needed in order to get that cherry picked. So it's just something that we'll have to start looking, adding to our list of things to think when we're reviewing PRs.
Cool. I will say, Varsha, thanks for bringing that to our attention for us to use. I know also when I shared that in the maintainers circle in the CNCF Slack workspace, there was a lot of other maintainers that found that very helpful for some of the stuff that they had been struggling with. So it was just really cool to see us in a way contributing back to the CNCF community as a whole, sharing stuff that we're working on and find useful in our project.
Thanks. Thanks, Nancy, and thanks to Praveen for finding this tool for us.
Yeah, thanks, Praveen. Okay, moving on to project roadmap stuff. I went ahead and just put the different things that are in the project roadmap listed out here. I put it instead here so we can talk about it and have it linked out in our agenda. So for the CAP, the long running performance enhancement, reduced CPU usage. Any update here?
Yep. So there is one new issue that we have taken up under this this particular bit of issue, that is to improve the CPU usage as performance enhancement. So we have been working on making less number of API calls to kapp-controller in CAP. This particular one is to see that the PR that currently Rohit is working on is on how to reduce the CPU usage. Praveen has been reviewing that, and he can probably explain it better. We are almost about to close it, I guess, and we should be able to see that in the next CAP release, which is due before 5th of June. Praveen, do you want to quickly explain what this does?
Yeah, sure. So this is mostly enhancing performance. Like most of the other things that we worked on under this issue were related to API calls made to the cluster, but this one is related to CPU usage from CAP. So we just like ran pre-profiling and found out that there are some places that we can improve, like reduce the calls and basically enhance the CPU usage. So yeah, the PR basically contains a couple of those things, and it's already merged, I think. So yeah, it would be part of the next CAP release.
Yeah, I didn't know that it's already merged. So as everybody would know, kapp-controller in itself does not take up too much CPU, or it's not the one, it delegates its tasks to these tools to do whatever it needs to do. So one of the major, and we would want to reduce the footprint of kapp-controller on the cluster. And for that purpose, I think making CAP more performant is one of the key items towards making kapp-controller more performant. Yep.
Great. Thanks, Renu and Praveen. Any questions on this? All right. Moving on to kapp-controller. Enable kapp-controller delete app when namespace is deleted.
Praveen, this one is again you.
Yeah. So the issue over here is that when a namespace is deleted, which has kapp-controller resources like package installer app, those get, most of the times those get stuck in deletion because the service account that is responsible for deleting the app resources also gets deleted. So we are trying to solve this in multiple stages, and the first stage is that if the resources are only part of that namespace only, where the app is present, then we don't rely on CAP to delete the resources. We just do a no op delete. So the PR is up for it, and hopefully this will make the goal is to include this in the next kapp-controller release.
Awesome. Thanks, Praveen. And when about do you think? It says on here is June, so still an estimated time for that release?
Yep.
Cool. Any questions on this one? Okay. Moving on to YTT, support emitting comments and resulting YAML. So this is one that was quite popular with the roadmap survey. Farsha, or any
Yeah.
update here? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we started kind of looking at the proposal that is currently, like, we are trying to find out the use cases, probable output, the how we want to display the comments in YAML output. And there are some questions that we are going through, like what is the right syntax for making such comment? Do we want to keep it as a YAML comment, or do we want to keep it as a YTT comment? Or how should Starlock or other YTT annotations be handled through these comments? There are some use cases that we are coming up, like how to keep the licensing information that is on top of YAML file, or how to add a trace source. Say someone has in their configuration some source, so should we add it as like a hash at annotation / head comment, or how do we like perceive that source and just keep it consistent across our YAML outputs? How the multi-line comments can be handled, or how the literal output will be provided. So we are like brainstorming on ideas on what kind of use cases we want to handle in this particular proposal. And yeah, so if community has any questions, any feedbacks, or any specific use cases that they want us to look at while writing this proposal, it will be like all welcome. Please reach out to us through our Slack channel and let us know what would you like to see, and let us know about your specific use cases.
In fact, since we are in this meeting, we are also looking for that customer zero who would help us define the behavior of how it would be, and what is it that is like immediately required, and what can be phased out to the other releases. So anybody who would want to help us out, please reach out to Varsha, or just comment on this issue, and we will reach out to you.
I'm always happy to help out with this one.
It was meant for you.
Always happy to help on this one.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, we'll set up a call and get some inputs from you, Scott. That will be really helpful.
Great. There was also a HackMD that I worked on for a few hours with John a while ago. I'm sure that's still out there somewhere.
Sure.
With a bunch of stuff that we wrote, but happy to do a session, happy to set up a call and discuss for sure.
Awesome.
All right, just typing out some notes. Thank you, Scott, as always. So happy to hear that you will be helping out. And I'm sure the community at large thanks you for your service.
It's always easy when you don't need to write the code.
Right. You just provide the feedback and then let others do the work.
Exactly.
All right, moving on to a couple of other items in the roadmap. I know that these are kind of awaiting proposals. We have this one that was one of the top requested items for the roadmap. I know There's been maybe some discussion on it. Is there any update here?
Nope, this is still in the icebox. We haven't had a proposal. This has not moved. Let me see if Somik can discuss this with Thomas a little more.
All right, sounds good. And then as far as the other one goes, Carvel supports the ability to sign and verify assets. I imagine there's not much more updates there.
Nope.
All right. And before we move on to discussion topics, anything else folks wish to bring up on what they're working on? Okay. All right, so I brought up this right here. The KubeCon North America CFP is due June 18th. I know Samek is working on something with Thomas. I think they're gonna resubmit the talk that they had submitted for Europe and see if they can make it to the North America one based on some of the feedback they got from the program committee. But I want to make sure the others on this call and across the team are considering what to bring up at KubeCon and talk about Carvel, any of the tools, anything that you are interested in sharing with the community. If there's anybody out there that is using some of the Carvel tools and wants to do a joint talk with one of the maintainers, please let us know. We would love to participate and learn more about what you want to talk about. Any comments here before moving on? Okay. All right. We have moving examples of all tools to a single repository to reduce false alarms during various types of checks.
I can explain that. I added this one on JAWS request. So we have a lot of examples for all the tools present inside the same code base, and sometimes there are various checks run. Could be through CNCF or could be like from within VMware as well. And because of those examples, we get a lot of false alarms. So the recent one was related to a AGPL license, and one of the examples we used in, I think, vendor. And the idea that like what we were thinking was should we move all these examples to like a single repository for all the tools? Like that won't be obviously monitored. Like it could probably be part of Carvel dev, but since it's not one of the actual tools, the checks won't be run on that. I guess the question is that is there any issue with moving those examples to a single repo? Like, are we using those anywhere? I think we might be using in some of the tests. But I think for tests, we can always use, I'm not sure what, like, yeah. The tests that I've seen, I think we can use it even from the other repositories, but I might have missed a few things. So just wanted to get some thoughts.
These examples are, what are these examples? I mean, we are using them in our tests, but what are these examples? What is this code?
So most of the examples cover like different scenarios of the tools. For examples, the ones present in CAP, they have like some of them are used for the CAP app group deploy command. There's some are for CAP deploy only. So basically the different use cases of each tool. That's what we
I
try to
get it.
cover.
Oh, so they are not examples to be used by tests. They are just examples for people to refer to or how to use these. Understood.
Yes.
And how would you propose to have all these examples together? What kind of, I mean, is it directory structure, or how are we planning to keep them together in a single repo?
Yeah, I think a directory structure makes sense, like one directory for each tool. And I don't think there is like a standard. It's just one examples directly in all the tools, and that has all the examples present. So we can have one directory for each tool with all the examples present in that.
I think the one worry I would say with that is I get the pain of it, but I think also having the examples in the tools repo does make it more accessible for the newcomer when he just wants to look and see an example. If this does happen, there just have to be links put all over the docs, basically, to the example repo, to the right folders. Because if someone is just looking at YTT or whatnot, they could get lost if there's now 30,000 examples from all of the different tools. They're going to have to open up now another tab to the other repo in order to take a look at it. So it just has to be linked out very well from within the docs and whatnot, because I use those examples when I was learning, and I tell people to look at those examples sometimes when they're, when they come to me to ask about stuff. So that would be my one possible concern. But I think that if we linked it well enough all over the place, then that can probably be alleviated. But it definitely is, I think, a bit less convenient. It's just a matter of what outweighs the other.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Joy, you were also saying something.
Yes. So in some cases, these examples serve as they are used in tests. Like if we see the example of YTT, they were added to the tests on purpose to make sure that the examples that we are providing our users still work with YTT, right? What would be like the worst thing is for you to go to a repo with examples and you try them and they fail. And that also happens, for example, in Vendir, where we are doing exactly the same thing, where we're using the examples there as tests in some cases. I understand the pain. I've seen it, I've lived it, but at the same time, I'm a little bit concerned of moving everything to this other repository that nobody else will ever update. Because unfortunately, that's the reality. If it's not going to fail, we're not going to update it because we are very few. We have a lot of work to do, and for sure, something that's not failing, it's not going to have our priority. So I'm a little bit concerned of moving them outside of the tools, apart from what Scott said, that when you're trying a new tool, you search the examples on the repository of that tool, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
One option I think may work or may not, but what if the examples were changed to actually use like the Carvel releases, for example, if, for example, it's a Vendir, instead of pulling down some whatever it's pulling down today, Nginx, Helm chart, or whatever it is, what if it was pulling down the GitHub release of kapp-controller, and it was pulling down the GitHub repository of kbuild, or whatever it ended up being? If we ended up just basically cross-linking, and the examples of pulling down a GitHub repo was the Carvel stuff, you're not going to fall into the AGPL license checks or anything like that. And kapp-controller could be deploying of secretgen-controller. And we could do a lot of the examples just pointing at the actual Carvel tools, which can also be kind of a plus of showing how things interoperate well with one another and how the Carvel tool set can interoperate. And then you may have less errors. Just a thought.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, from what I recall, the AGPL license we got was for a Mercurial example. So I think when we are trying to cover like a lot of different cases, would have to go beyond just the Carvel tools. But yeah, we can try to use as much of examples that we would own. That's there. So I guess what I'm hearing is that for now, we'll keep the examples in the same repo, and we'll try to see if there are other alternatives. Maybe we start with the repo with all the examples and then slowly move to those if required. Okay, cool.
All right. Thanks, Praveen, and everyone else who contributed to that. Has anyone, just a random thing, has anyone noticed that the captions change almost languages or something? Like right now it looks fine, but when others have been talking, it like changes, almost looks like German or something. I don't know if you can see the captions at the bottom. It looks fine now, but it's so weird. I've noticed that the last few meetings it keeps changing. Or maybe, I don't know, it's just on my end. Okay, any other discussion topics folks wish to bring up? Nope. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone for joining today. Really appreciate all the discussion and contributions to today's meeting. For those that are watching this from home, just a reminder, please come and join us. We'd love to meet you and learn more about you and have you participate. Again, we meet every second and fourth Wednesday of the month at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And with that, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day / evening, wherever you are. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.